Hi, y'all. Thank you once again. Um, in this uh, in this video, we are going to build another project, and the project is going to be it is going to be quite similar to the project we already built in the past. So, if you watched my previous videos, you'll find that we first of all built two different projects. One was we used Python dictionary, and the other one we used Python list. And what we did was to build some application that whereby we could record some information by accepting user input and displaying them and manipulating the data basically. So we're going to do something similar here, but there will be quite a very big difference in what we're going to do now. In this project, we are going to use, because the limitation that the previous projects had is that we were not able to, when we insert our data, we couldn't save the data for retrieval or for manipulation when we return. Once you saved it and close the application, everything is gone. So what we are going to do now is that we're going to save this application. Once the user inputs their data to this very application that we're going to right now, the information is going to be saved using the CSV file, which you can see on my screen now. So CSV file is quite a very, very useful library that is used or that is used to save information and or to save data, and it's very useful or quite popular because it's easy to manipulate the information that you saved using a CSV file, and it's easy to convert it to different other softwares, for example, say, or applications, say Microsoft Excel and different other applications. So that's why it's quite used a lot. So we are going to use it now to save the information that we are going to insert into the using our new application. So in this very application, we're going to, like I said already, we're going to do something quite similar to what we did before. So we are going to allow users to insert information, allow them to delete information, to display information, or to search for information actually. So that's what we are going to do. And so in this very video, we are going to make it to be quite short. And what I want to do here is to first of all to build the skeleton of what our application is going to be. So in this very video, I'm going to write some basic functions that we are going to use in our application. So the functions, we are not going to write the major applications that are going to do what we intend to do, but just the functions. Then in the next video, we are going to um, improve on the functions that we are going to write now. So what I intend to do now is let's start here by writing. First of all, something that the function I'm writing now is not like necessary anyway, but I always like to, usually when you want to use an application, to know what the application is meant for or what it is used for instance. So that's why I always want to just have a banner that tells a user what it is used for. That's all. So I'm going to have another one. Let's say something like we're going to have something like that. And oh, finally, we're going to have So this is all that we need here. And by the way, let me just quickly go over what we are going to use this application for. So this application, let's assume that we are recording inventory. In this inventory, we are just recording, say, names of companies that produce some network devices, for example. Um, like, let's say Cisco produces different kinds of network devices, firewalls, routers, switches, and so many other things. So we are going to write a simple application that we are going to use to record information about just basic information, not a whole lot of stuff. So after that, we will be able then to manipulate uh, the data that we insert into this inventory management system. And it's just as simple as that. So now that I have this, let me have a different, let us have another function. So this function, uh, this is quite, this function, what it's going to do is that we are going to allow users to choose what they intend to do using the application. Let's say they want to insert information or they want to delete information on so on and so forth. So this is the, uh, where they can choose what they intend to do, and then they then proceed to do whatever it is that it says. So now let me first of all have say no. I don't. Anyway, I just use this. Let's say print. What are options or what actions could a user take here? Let's say add an item and B. Say list items. Maybe the person wants to list all of the items. And let's say the person wants to search for a single item, for instance. Let's say let us also have this. Maybe we could also say I don't know why anyone would want to empty the entire database anyway, but just for fun, let's just have this. And then we could also have some, oh, by the way, this should be E. And then we could also have, let's say, let's say we can have the person quit. So these are like some of the actions that the person could take. So now let us use the while loop to have the user proceed or discontinue. So what we're going to do now is to have the user to choose. The reason I'm trying to use the while loop is to make sure that the user picks something that is on this list. So if they didn't pick what is shown on this list, then they will be prompted to choose something from between A and from A, what we can see on the screen. But if the user choose Q, for example, to quit, then it throws them out of the system entirely. So that's why I'm using this while loop. So now we are going to have this variable here to have the user to have the user choose something. And this is probably not necessary anywhere, but let me make sure that whenever the user chooses an option, that it should, no, option, option dot. Let's use this upper function so that whatever the user chooses, if the user chooses like a lowercase, for example, it will change it to uppercase. Again, this is really not something that is very important anyway, but let's just have it there in order to play around with different Python functions. So now let us now check what the user is choosing. Let's say if the option, which is this variable that we have up there, the input that the user, what we got from the user. Let's say the option is, you know what? Let us first of all have the skeletons of the functions we are going to use. So let's say add item, and then you see we now have an error message. In order to not have that error, let's see is pass. So this would make we will be able to run our application without any error messages. So let's write another one, search. Let's say search item. Again, we use pass, and then another one, let's say list items. So here we are going to list everything. Let's say, let's use pass and delete item. If the user wants to delete something, let's use this again. And this one is empty database. And let's use pass again. Okay, so now these are some of the important functions we are going to use. So what we're going to do now is, so let's say if the user types, if the option we got from the user is A, so we are going to add item. We'll call the add item function. If option is B, if the option is B, then let's search item. It means the user wants to search an item. If option is C, oh, just 1 second, list item, no. The A is add item, then B is a list item. So B is list item, and C is search item, and let's say if option yeah option is after then what do we have next? Search item. D is delete item. Delete item. Okay, so what do we have next? Now we have a C, and we have the delete item. So we have a empty database. Let's say also if option is we have delete item E, then we have empty if option is Q. What do we do if the option is Q? So we can just we can just hmm, if the option is Q, we can just maybe let's say, what if we break out of the application? Else print you must choose an option to proceed. Right. So I believe we've got everything that we needed here. So here I was thinking maybe we could actually use you know what? Let's use no option, or rather no action taken by, and then you know what? Let's just exit entirely from the application. So what happens here is that once the user chooses any of the options, and then it takes them to whatever it is they want to do, and then if they choose Q, it just exists. It takes them entirely out of. But if they keep, if they choose any other thing that is not listed here, they need to keep on prompting them to choose an option. That is why, like I said earlier, that's why I decided to use the while loop here. So now, this is the skeleton of our application, and when we come back, we are going to then complete the functions that we have here. So at this stage, uh, we have implemented some of the functions that we needed, and what we do now is to first of all call, because once you write all these functions, it needs to be called from kind of a central function, which you by convention is called main. So this will be the main function. This main function is one that is going to control the rest of the functions that we've written. So let us call the first function the banner, and then the next function is the option. So in the main function, we have called two of the functions that we've written. So let's go right below and call our main function, because if you don't call it below, it won't the application won't execute. So let's call that main function from here. Let's save, and then this is the time to test our application. And what we do now is let's call that's our interface. And what we do now is let's first of all be just randomly picking this, and you see what's happening. So because the functions are not implemented yet, so obviously once we choose these options, they won't be able to do anything. So that's why we are getting this we are getting this. So now the next thing we do, let's just try try Q. You see, So once you try Q, it kicks us out of the application. You remember the Q was implemented to do that. Once you pick Q, it exits the application. So that's exactly what's happening here. And that's what we plan to do in this video. And in the next video, we are going to implement and complete our functions. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching. And please subscribe to my channel. And let's see you again in the next video.